Hello everyone and welcome into my craft space. Today I am so excited to be with you and share with you in part of the Envelope Challenge 2025 hosted by two of my favorite crafty ladies, Tracie Fox and Nathalie from Line.Arrow. And Tracie is from Tracie Fox Creative, if you didn't already know that. And they have given us two sets of free printables to work with for this project. So it is so much fun. They give you these beautiful envelopes here. This is one, I think this one's Nathalie's. I kind of lost track of whose was whose when I printed them and cut them all out. But they are both beautiful sets and they work very, very well together. So what I'm going to do is put together a little envelope project, and you can do this with the printables, but you could also do this with your own collection of envelopes. And this time of year is a great time to collect envelopes. You can ask your friends if they have somebody who's getting married or maybe having a baby shower or something like a graduation, any of those fun spring and summertime things. They might still use paper stationery and they might have an abundance of leftover envelopes that they could be able and willing to pass on to you to use in these kinds of projects. So I have my whole stack of printables, but I also have a stack of some leftover envelopes. These ones are from a Christmas card pack. This one is a CD sleeve or a CD envelope. And these ones are just little tiny to from envelopes. They're from the little tiny cards. These ones are some coin envelopes. The point is, you can really use any envelopes that you have out there to follow along in this project, and I hope you will do just that. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is figure out a base. In my project, I've decided I'm going to use a mixture of both my envelopes and Nathalie's envelope and Tracie's envelope. And if you haven't watched their videos in this project already, they did an amazing job of showing you how to incorporate different sizes of envelopes. They shrunk their envelopes down even just to 97%, I think was one that Tracie did, and it looked amazing. So if you don't have a variety of envelopes like I have here, you can always shrink down the digital envelopes and make them in a variety of different sizes, and they look absolutely beautiful. I'm going to show you what to do if you do have your envelopes and also incorporate the digital envelopes. So the first thing I like to do is, if I have these ones that have these little extra things here, I'm going to just snip those off. And it just takes a second. Those things are great if you're trying to keep things into your envelope for a little bit of extra protection, but when you're using them for like an envelope folio or ephemera holder like I am, they just kind of get in my way. So I just snip them out. And it gives me a chance to be able to glue paper or something over here nice and straight as well. So it just saves a little bit of time and frustration, and you can just easily snip them out. Okay. So I'm going to take two envelopes and glue them together like this. So I want the tab out here to be open so that I have it to attach something else to. So I want to glue just down here inside this envelope that I've stuck inside the other envelope. So I took one, stuck it inside here, and I'm just going to glue it in by right here on the flap. So it's going to glue right in here and over here. Now, when you're using regular envelopes, not digital envelopes, you want to make sure you always know where the adhesive side of the flap is so that it doesn't get in your way. You always need to address that adhesive so it's not just sitting there waiting to stick to something else that it shouldn't. All right, we want to line these up really good so that everything still folds here. And there's adhesive right there, but we're going to address that in just a few minutes. All right, might need to clean up that cut just a little bit. This is going to be covered with paper though, so don't worry too much about that. Okay, so I want this part to be on the back. That's going to be how we attach this other envelope. And this envelope here, I'm going to glue it right to this one. We are going to miss out on this beautiful detail on the back, but we're going to still use this as a pocket, and we'll be able to see the front of this envelope. The only thing I've done to my digitals is while I was cutting them out, I used some packaging paper to line the inside. It gives it a great crinkle sound, and it has that wonderful wrinkle. Okay, so I'm going to glue this together first because I hadn't actually done that yet. I usually do that last, just before I know where it's going to go and what's going to happen, so that way if I need to put anything else on the inside, it won't be in the way. But now I know where it's going. I'll just get that glued here. And I'm going to make a pocket out of this front here. So this envelope on my left-hand side is going to be the pocket, a digital envelope. So what we want to do is we want to glue, and without knowing where it's going to go for sure, I'm just going to use this envelope. So we're going to glue here and here and down. So both sides and the bottom of this envelope. Just like that. And then we're going to put this one together with it where it wants to go. And I want it to be underneath this flap. This flap is going to be our closure. And so then we're going to have a pocket here and a pocket here. And we want to make sure everything still works. So this is going to be our closure when we're all done. And then we have a pocket in here, a pocket here, a pocket here. And we're going to glue this envelope in just like this. So see, I did not glue these down, and that's great because this time we're going to glue this one in here, like so. So we're going to glue on this tab here. And you want them to be fairly even, like level with each other, so that way it can still bend. And just before that glues, I'm just going to tuck it and pretend for a second. And we'll see that it's all lined up out here and that it does still close like this. And it does. Give everything a good squeeze and seal there. Okay, now this one we want to glue. I'm going to cut these extras off here because those are the parts that do have adhesive on them, and we don't want that. If you want more sturdiness, you could fold them in. I'm just going to cut them off. And again, I have that packaging paper. And by packaging paper, I just mean the paper that comes with anything you've purchased online. So anything that gets mailed to your house and they put this paper in the packages, I call packaging paper. Sometimes it looks like this and sometimes it looks different. My husband sometimes gets the packaging paper that has perforated areas of it, and I just love it. It's like you can pull off little sheets of it. It's wonderful. But not all packaging paper is the same. So, okay, so we've got this now. We can close this in. I did ink here, so that way it doesn't stand out too much. So just take your dabber and just rub it all around, your brush or whatever you ink with. Just get it all inked up so that it kind of matches in. Okay, and then we're going to close this flap here of our envelope and this flap there. This one I must have not gave very much of a edge to there. There we go. We'll refold it. Barely, it's just barely meeting the line there. All right. And you can see we do still have some adhesive here we're going to have to deal with. So maybe we can pull in a little piece of ephemera to go in there. And these two ladies give you so much ephemera to work with. It's amazing. I absolutely loved all of the little bits I was able to cut out and play with here. So there is, it's almost like buying one of the Tim Holtz ephemera packs. Once you get everything all cut out, it's like, wow, there's so much stuff. This looks like just a little cluster. Maybe that will fit in there. And it could go just like this. Although then we're going to cover it up later. Is there just like a little ticket or something? Just a little something. There we go. Let's just stick this little piece in there. Okay. And you can see I did back it all with some other paper that I had, some A good friend of mine has sent me some Happy Mail with all kinds of different dyed papers, and I have been using it, and it was a perfect fit again for this. So you can see there'll be some red ones, and I'll probably add some blue ones. And since our airmail packet, our airmail envelope has that red and blue trim to it like an airmail package would, that was kind of the color scheme I was going with here. So it works perfectly. Okay, so this we can stick just over that adhesive, and I think that will be good. And even if this winds up being what shows, I'm okay with that. So we're just gonna stick some glue over this. And we'll put in just this little piece here so it covers that adhesive and gives us a little more surface area to glue this envelope here, the flap. So we're gonna glue right here and down. And we'll stick this one down. Stick maybe a little more glue under there. And then the same on this side. So we're gonna glue here and up. And then we wanna glue in here too. And we'll stick just a little bit on there. Okay, so we still wanna be able to use this envelope as a pocket. And I think that's gonna be great. And so let's take a peek at what we've got going here so far. So this one can, maybe we can make a little closure here. I don't know, we'll see. So that's gonna fold in. So just very quickly with just 4 envelopes, we already have such a fun little envelope folio coming together. So it's gonna open like this. There's the front. We'll decorate the front, of course. And then we've got a pocket, a pocket, a pocket, and then this is a page. And then this will be a pocket. And we could decorate this too if we wanted. And I think we're doing very good here. We could also put, maybe this could go in right here. Oh yes, that might actually be better. We will lose out on that little piece of music sheet that I put in there, but it's not for nothing because it's helping to hold this to stick together. And then this could make an actual page on there. I think that's really cute. Now I don't normally craft with people that aren't my people, but this one is a beautifully done digital, and I'm trying to venture into that a little bit more. Now the longest and most difficult part of this project is going to be covering all of your pages with some paper. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll be back to put all of the fun ephemera in and get to decorating. Here's what it looks like now that our envelopes are covered. So this is how it's going to open. And then we've got a pocket back here, and a pocket here, and a pocket here. We may want to ink or stamp or something, put some extras in here, but we will have some things hanging out of the pockets here, so that could help too. Then we've got this nice page. This paper is by Line Dot Arrow from Nathalie. And then I decided to tuck this tab in here on this envelope, and we could put some glue in there just to make it seal a little bit better. This is optional. I just like the way that it looked all tucked in there. Whoops. Get some more glue. Okay, so then we're just going to lift this one and tuck it under, flatten it out really good, make sure we don't have any excess glue hanging out that might glue into this little envelope pouch. And then I'm going to glue some lace from here to here. We've got a couple things going on. So I took some smaller envelopes and put some paper on them, and they're going to go here like this. And we will need to cover up those little adhesive spots right here on the envelopes, but we'll work on that in just a minute. Okay. And then this little card is going to go right here as our paper, but I wanted to have a little piece of lace behind it. And then we're going to use this envelope here and stick it up here like this, and then it'll be a nice flap over here. So it'll be kind of a little lift up. And then on this one, we're going to put this paper here. I'm going to trim it down just a little bit. We are going to lose just a little bit of this writing, but I do really like this rose right there. And then once I've got those glued, then we can work on putting some fun things in the pockets. I've gotten all my pieces covered and laid down, and I decided that inside this one, I want to put, so this flaps up. I haven't glued this piece yet. I found it easier to kind of glue this all together first and then be able to just glue it all down at once. But inside of here, before I glue this down, I want to make a little ephemera holder slot right in here, and we can easily do that at the top of this picture here. So I'm going to take a little ruler, sorry about that, set it right here, and then I've got my mat underneath, and I'm just gonna make the smallest little slot right in here. There we go. Make sure we got that cut. And we do. Now it's not going to be too strong back there, so we want to make sure and not put a lot of heavy things in here, but I think just one little tag or something right behind there would be really neat. Okay, and I think we're ready to glue this down. And then I have these photo turns that I would like to put to hold down the envelopes, like right here. These used to be called photo anchors or photo turns, and they can hold down the envelope lids here. And then I want to hold one down over here as well. So we will need to put in some brads right there. I think I'm going to do a little red one right there. There we go. And that will just add in some other pops of color and also hold these down as well. So let's see. And the closer to the edge you can get these, the better, because we've got to secure a brad in there. So let's get this part glued down first, and then we can do that. I love how when I'm working with these envelopes, the projects just evolve. Sometimes I go in with not too much of a plan or a picture in my head, and I come out with something really great. So I hope you are enjoying this as well. And get out some envelopes and just let them speak to you. Seems to be what happens for me. Now I want to make sure this does not glue all the way into here. I still want an opening in there. So we may need to stick a little piece of something in there. Okay, so I try to get the hole poked with my pokey tool and then try to set these little brads on the underside where it's going to go. Sorry, my apologies, my arm is right in the way. There we go. And then these are, you just have to pull the brad tabs apart without ripping your project, which can be a little challenging. Let me put it on fast forward so you guys don't have to see me struggle. Okay, those were a little bit of a struggle, but we did it. This one is in, so we've got our little turn like this, and then it will open like this. And then we do have a little spot for a tag right there. And then this one, this, if you remember, is a coin envelope. So if we take our scissors, or you could use your trimmer or a ruler or whatever beforehand, but it's literally just a little slice that needs to come off in order to open this up. And this will now be a pocket right here. Here we go. And we can stick a piece of ephemera in there as well. And we want to ink that edge because it looks definitely cut rather than just like a vintage slice. It just looks like it was cut. And I forgot to mention, for all of my ephemera pieces from the digital kits, I used my decal trimmer to get the nice decal edge on all of them, kind of make them look a little more vintage. If you don't have a decal edge trimmer, there are decorative scissors that can mimic that as well. Or you can use just regular scissors. just have fun with it. Let's see, there we go. Okay, so we will want to make sure that all these little corners are glued down so we know exactly where the pocket is and isn't. And sometimes I like to use a little bit of washi tape on these edges just to help ensure where the pocket is. So you can put that washi in here and around on the flat, but I don't know if I have any washi that I want to show right now. And also I created another issue because I could not get my little anchors in and secure them inside of this pouch here. So you can see we've got one brad to cover there, but I figured it would be okay. And then this one here as well. So for this one, I think I'm going to use a little bit of linen tape and just try to go over it. There we go. And I have this lovely linen tape that is the ledger, so it's going to go perfectly. Oh, all right, wants to just come off like this, so we'll just turn this upside down. And normally I like to do tape for today, glue for tomorrow. It's what I always say, but with this ledger tape or this linen tape, I find I don't need to do that. So we'll just put this right on over there. Don't think, will it come back up? Well, good. I want to scooch it down just a little bit. Take two. There we go. Okay, so we'll scooch that. I'm gonna have to trim it a little bit, and that's okay. So that hides our brad tab right in there. Also helps to keep it a little more secure. And I think it goes with the theme here really well. I gotta get it cut off of here. Eek. There we go. Okay. Just a little extra down here. First it was not enough, and now it's just a little extra. I wonder if I wrap it around, if it would look okay. I don't know if I like that. It doesn't really make a difference on this side, so I might just leave it there. But it really helps on this side because now that brad tab is gone and it kind of takes up some of the space. I did also poke a hole through there, so I'm gonna have to put something over there, but we've got plenty of ephemera to do some decorating. Maybe even this could be lovely. It'll add some color and it will hide, that little brad tab right there. I actually really like that there. Maybe we'll just glue it down. If we like it, we'll just glue it down. We won't be a hovercrafter, as they say. Okay. So you can see these envelope projects come together really quickly. Be a great little gift for Mother's Day or Easter even. You can use it however you like. You can put some photos on here. Or you can make it into a wonderful happy mail. You can fill these little pockets with all kinds of fun ephemera and things of that nature. Okay. So now that's going to flip like this. And then we have these over here. I have pulled out some of the ephemera that I really want to include. And I wanted to start with these little envelopes here first. So we've got to do something to take care of the adhesive that's on the inside. So we want to open these, and this is the little strip here that I'm meaning. So I like to create just some little clusters under there. We can glue something like this here, and then you'll see this piece on the bottom. So let's give that just a little ink. I don't think I've done that yet. See some white pieces here. Okay. So I'm just gonna put some glue, just gonna put some glue on the flap right where the adhesive is. So that way I know that's the area I need to cover. this here and just close it down. And lift it back up, make sure we got all that glue. Then on this side, we'll put something as well. And remember, this just closes with this little photo anchor, photo turn, whatever you like to call them. Okay, so now we have a little extra room here to play with as well, and we can put something like this. This is almost perfect. These digital freebies give you so many different things to play with here. You can really make this cluster as big or as little as you'd like, and I think it's really fun. So I'm just going to remember to put something here on the inside so it looks like it's been decorated as well. Maybe just decorated with some of the little bits and pieces from a trip or something of that nature. It's fun to imagine what the story might be behind some of these pieces of ephemera. All right, let's just glue this one down. And remember, you can join this challenge by using the freebies from both Line.Arrow and Tracie Fox Creative, or using any of the products you might have at home. You might already have some envelopes or some fun little papers that have something of this nature, or maybe you have some ephemera of your own that you would like to use as well. And that is always great to have some things to put into these little pockets. Let's do this. Let's put this little dinner and dance right into this envelope here. And maybe if we turn it this way, it'll be easier to get out. Can we still close the flap? I think we can. Perfect. Okay, there's our little flap all closed. Hopefully that will learn to flatten out and behave a little better. Now this one, I've already picked this out. This one here, I love this little one that says postage paid, and it's kind of like a little postcard. But what I'm going to do is put some glue on the underside of this again where that adhesive is, and I need to cover up. Okay. And then I'm gonna lay this down here kind of where I wanted it. And you can put these crooked or straight or however you want, wonky or not, it's okay. There we go. And then I wanted these little pieces to go over here like this. Maybe something like that. And you can put lace here, buttons, whatever you'd like. I just want to use some of these little pieces. I'm going to lay them kind of how I had them, and then I'll try to put some more glue. Oh, that wasn't quite, there we go. I wanted to be able to see that C just a little bit. There we go, like that. And maybe just a little more glue over here. Okay, and then we can put something in this pocket and on this underside here as well. I think this one might be really fun. Southern Railway, Railway Central right there. And maybe in real life you want to put some photos or something of that nature in these pockets. You could even put some little gift cards if you wanted to do something like that. Okay, we could always put a little piece of lace or trim here as well if we wanted to. And I think there was like a little, does she fit in there? Maybe she does. I don't know, we'll see. I can put right down in there. Scooch her down. Yep, she fits great. We'll close it in there. Maybe she's going on the railway. Or maybe she went and that was the last picture you took of her. There we go. Wherever she's going on her adventure, we wish her well. And let's see. We've still got a few more spots over here to put some things in. So this little scattering of stuff is perfect. Okay. So in this side, I wanted to put some this little ticket maybe in our little extra spot right there. Look how perfect that is. Maybe they entered some sort of a raffle or a drawing. And then we have a tag that we can push up there. Perfect. And maybe we want it to go this way because then it'll be easier to grab out. And we could very easily decorate something on here as well. We don't want it to be too bulky because it has to go back in here, but we could put some little tickets or something, kind of like a little scatter here at the bottom. And we could just staple those on, or we could glue them. That one's upside down, although I guess it really doesn't matter. Let's see, does that fit in our envelope? It does. Okay, perfect. Let's glue these down. The next thing I'm going to do as I am working here is just look for some opportunities to put in some brads and things of that nature. I really love working with brads and eyelets, and I think they add a lot to the projects that we make. They do add some bulk, so if you're planning to send it in the mail, it won't be quite as flat as it would be without. But I do think it adds a lot of interest and character to your pieces. It can also add dimension, which I think is fun. I try to put them in and squish them on my desk so they get as flat as I can get them. Okay. So I'm just going to go through and put a bunch of brads and eyelets in, and I'll bring you along, but fast forwarded, so the movie magic is all there. I have been struggling with the placement of this brad. I think it was just because of some indecisiveness. So what I'm going to do now is I've decided I want this little pull tab on here, although I want it up just a little bit more so it can be more of a tab sticking out like that. Perfect. So I put some glue on this side of the paper, and then I do have a hole punched here already, but we will just poke through like that. And then we'll put this brad before we decide to fold down the other side, and this will hide our brad tab. So we'll put our brad like this, turn it over, fold this around, flatten it out like we would normally, and then we'll glue this over that brad tab so it's nice and hidden inside the tab here. And it'll also just give it a little more strength as well. Just go ahead and fold it like that. And then this is the tag that's just going to go ahead and go up into this little pouch here, hopefully. All right, let's see if it fits. We do not fit, so maybe we're going to have to tear just a little bit of this off, like maybe it ripped. I'll just put some ink on that so it looks like it wasn't a fresh rip. That's okay. All right, so do we fit now? Yeah, barely. It's kind of tight, so we'll rip a little bit of this off too. And put some ink. There we go. And we'll just put this down there. And then that leaves a little tab at the bottom here, so you can see that there is something in there. And I suppose you could tuck some things here, but it's going to interfere a little bit with what we've got going on over here. And then this is a pouch, so we can fit all kinds of extra ephemera or photos or whatever it is that you want to fit in here. And I think I need to glue this lace down just a little bit more, but you see you can fit all kinds of goodies in there. And we'll put this little anchor on there. Okay, so that's great. And you know, you could go ahead and add some extra decoration here to this piece if you wanted to. There's so much fun ephemera. It's easy to get yourself into decorating with all of it. It's so much fun. I love it. Very vintage. Okay, and then of course we have this pouch up here. There we go. This pouch up here. And then this is a pouch in here as well. So a great place to tuck some more of those tickets, like the ones that say train or performance or whatever the case may be, like these ones. This can go right in there. Maybe you want to have it sticking out so you can see that it says train, and then it says like performance. Okay, and on here you could put a little tuck. You could put more of the decorations, like this little rose. I'm loving those. And of course we could put a little belly band across with some of those tickets that were in there. You could decorate with some more of the ephemera, or leave it as a spot to fill in a photo or something of that nature. So like you could also put in one of these photos here, and then the pocket would just be in the back, so that would be really awesome. I think this one though, I'm just gonna slip right inside of here, because that is a pocket, and I'm loving how that looks. Just like that. This one could be glued on as an extra little pocket. You could have a pocket in here and a pocket there. Pockets are addictive. I don't know why they are, but they really are. You could just have a blast making pockets all over the place. Or, you know, you could put these little photos here, like where those other ones I just put away. We could easily make a little photo montage out here. Some of those, and adding in some of the great ephemera. So if you don't have Tim Holtz people or photos, these are a really fun way to get something very similar. Maybe two of this size would work better. Yeah, they can barely fit in there. You could lay them out something like that. You could also put in a little tinier one. So lots and lots of options with all of this beautiful ephemera that is available. I'm going to tuck these guys back into the pocket, or even maybe they could just go in right here. You can see this little envelope pouch will just hold all kinds of beautiful ephemera and works of art. So let's take a look at the cover and see what that's going to look like. I cut this little bunch of roses out, and I think it's absolutely beautiful for a focal point for the cover. And then I'll put a little piece here where you can see me quickly doing my nouveau work around here. I typically just kind of follow some of the lines, some of the color lines where either they're darker or like the shadows or the light. And I don't really color the whole thing in, but you can see it kind of adds a little bit of a shine and a little bit of some texture, so it gives it some more interesting character. And I can see it didn't cut out very good here. The other parts where the leaves are, I did use some bundled sage Distress Oxide ink and colored that in so it hides all of the spots where I might have missed. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this in. And when I glue it in, I want to just kind of glue in the center first, because I've got some other pieces I think we need to stick on this envelope. I am from the era where we used to have pen pals. We didn't have email. So pen pals were so much fun, and we used to decorate the envelopes. And I used to love it when the mail would come, because I could always tell if a letter was mine, because the envelopes were very decorated. Okay, so we've got this one. It's going to say special delivery, and we're going to go ahead and glue that down. Now, if you know who you're giving this to, you could write in their name and personalize it. If you're keeping it for yourself, you can write your own name. And we'll just put it in there like it's a little floral card. And then since this is supposed to be an envelope, I've got some stamps that we'll put at the top right here. And you know, envelopes can come in all shapes and sizes. The tiny ones are so cute, but sometimes they're not very good to go through the actual mail. So with these little faux postage stamps, you can pretend like they did. This one is a good size envelope. It would probably make it in the mail. Okay, so There we go. And the rose is perfect there. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue down that edge. And here's where you could put some extra if you want it to be bulky. Maybe you're going to hand deliver this to someone. You could keep putting some extra florals or things on there if you want to. But I don't really think it needs it. I'm happy with how this looks. I am going to put this little signature required piece down at the bottom. So you could sign this. Since it's, you know, my work of art, I could sign it. And I think it's a great thing to sign your books and sign your art. Okay, we'll put that one there, and I'm going to go ahead and glue these leaves down. Now I can see that they're not going to be in the way. And I'm going to wait a second to glue that one. We'll glue this one that says postage paid. And we'll put this one kind of askew over here. If you actually do sign your art, you'll want to leave room. And then we can finish gluing this one down. Now, one last thing we need to do is create a closure. And I was thinking on this one, a little Velcro dot might be wonderful. Okay, that little spot right there doesn't want to stay glued down. Maybe I didn't get enough glue on it because everywhere else is working great. There we go. Perfect. I love how that looks. And then this envelope, I could see I kind of needed to gusset. So what I did was I just kind of made a little impression of where I thought this was gonna go. And then I just pushed this back and folded this down and created that crease right there, so that it would then have a little gusset to fold over here. And I didn't really decorate this side, but you can if you want to. And what I like to do, this is the branding strip on some of the paper, and it says line dot arrow, envelope freebie, collab 2025. You can kind of still see it there, and then it says Tracie Fox Creative. So I'm going to use that piece maybe in here, just to stick right there. I think it's fun to include some of those things since we've got some other ephemera going on. We'll put this right down in there. We need to grunge it a little. It's looking a little bright white. And it's got the decal edge because I used my decal edge trimmer, which is perfect for creating kind of these vintage looking pieces. All right, so we're going to glue this in, and that will also help to strengthen this little gusset that I've created. And it was also on the end of a paper, so it's getting kind of like it was maybe at the top of a notebook or something, which really it was not. Okay, I still want everything to be able to open and close though, so I need to make sure it's not interfering in any way, and it's not. It's perfect. Okay, it's helping to create that little bit of a gusset there as well, so that's great. Okay, and then I'm going to use my little Velcro dots. Now, typically these don't always work out for me, so I don't really think of them very often. We're going to hope today that it's going to work out fine. I like to cut off one of each and put them together. And then I peel off one side. I put it where I want it to go. And it does have adhesive up in there that I hope holds it good enough. And then this side is sticky now because I peeled off that that little piece. Pull it tight and press it really secure. Okay, it seems to be working good. So now we can also put a little something right here if we want to. What do I want to use? Special delivery, that would be fun. Maybe some flowers here to match the front. I don't know. Yeah, that could be nice. Or, oh, that's right. I wanted to use the butterfly. I always love a butterfly. I don't know what it is about them, but they just make everything else seem so special. So we'll use that little butterfly, and maybe we'll put a ticket out the other side here so it kind of completes our little cluster. And then I, of course, always sparkle my wings, so I will use some shimmer stick on this. Get some little shimmer on this butterfly. Even though it's kind of in a vintage project, I think the The shimmer stick is just absolutely fabulous to add just a little bit of sparkle. And these are in my Amazon store if you're looking for them. Most of the tools that I'm using are in my Amazon store. And I'll put the link in the description box below. Okay, so there's that. Then we're gonna glue those. And maybe a little one of those down in there. Is that completed? Yeah, I think that's great. So let's glue this. There's a little piece of white down here that I'm not liking. There we go, I think that's better. All right, so glue that there. Glue this one kind of sticking out there, and then I'll secure it all down as soon as I get the butterfly on there. Okay, there we go. All right, so let me clear the deck and we'll take a look at what we've made. Our project is complete. Let's take a little flip through. This is the front cover. I love it how it says special delivery, has postage stamps, signature required, postage paid, and these beautiful roses, of course. I knew that had to be my focal point. And of course, it is all on one of the envelopes here. And this just says special delivery, has our little sparkly butterfly, Velcro closure. And you open it up, and here I left it a little plain because then you can put a tag or you can put your photos or whatever you want to put there. I do love that I was able to incorporate the little branding strip that says envelope freebie, and it has Tracie's logo and the line dot arrow logo. And we've got some ephemera goodies here in this pocket. Little ephemera goodies in this pocket. This is some linen tape hiding some of our construction there. More of those beautiful roses. I will probably put some Nouveau drops on those just so they match. And you could also go in and do some things like this, like use some of this Tim Holtz tape and just put this down anywhere that you think might look good. It could also be used to hold some of your folds a little better, or you can just put it like right here in the corner, and that just adds to the vintage appeal, and I think it's great. So we could put one of those over here on the corner as well. Let's do another one. Like I said, it's hard to control yourself and stop decorating. All right, let's just put a little piece of this. And if you don't have this tape, you can also make it with some alcohol ink and regular tape. These stickers are just so much fun. I love it. Okay, so then we flip the page and we've got our two smaller envelopes here that we have decorated, and we've got our little photo turns or photo anchors, whatever you want to call them. That opens up, and then it holds a little photo here, a gift card, or some more ephemera. And this is paper from Line Dot Arrow, but of course you could decorate some more. You could even put a little belly band here if you wanted. And this closes up. And same thing down here, our photo turn. This opens up, and we've got some fun little ephemera bits in here. Or it would be a great spot to put some little notes or a gift card. Some little pieces of a real ephemera from a trip, wherever you've been, or something like that. And then this piece here, this was our coin envelope, and it flips out like this. It does have a little tag in here that pulls out. I'm not going to pull it all the way out because it was a little difficult to put in there, but it does come out. And then this was our hotel receipt, but I did cut off the part that said hotel. You could, of course, glue some more ephemera on here, or a photo, or whatever you like. And then this photo, I created a little tuck right here. And we've got a little ticket and a piece of ephemera. And then also back here, we have a nice pocket for some more ephemera. And then that is the back of the envelope here. So then we close this down, and we're all done. So a great little project. I hope you will take a turn and grab some envelopes, grab the digitals, they're freebies, and enter this challenge. It's the hashtag, there we go, I have it. The hashtag The Envelope Project 25. So don't miss out. You'll want to check this out. We've got a ton of really great creators in this collaboration, and a huge, huge thank you to Nathalie and Tracie for including me and letting me show my beautiful project in this collaboration. See you next time.